Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Fortnite Story. I'm joined alongside a content creator, competitive Fortnite professional player, and a good dude. What's going on, Npen?
Nothing much. What about you?
Whew.
Chilling at the moment?
Yeah, been a busy day. Nice to get to sit down, have a conversation with you. Known you for a little bit now. Had a
Yeah.
nice first awkward meeting.
In person as well. It was
Yeah.
it was a wild time.
Wait, I have a question for you. Like, what the
Mhm.
heck did you think was going on? So, for those that don't know, probably most people, I
Yeah.
got to do the announcement video for Npen for Elite Esports, and I drove and met him at some like parking lot essentially, and that was the first interaction that we've ever had besides like DMs on Twitter.
Yeah. That was like I don't know. And the spot that we went to was like the photographer, because I guess they hired a photographer that was in the area, or like a videographer. And the spot that we went to was one that he recommended. And he was like, "Yeah, it has a lot of good scenery." And so I put in the directions. We went there, and it's just a huge parking lot and a bunch of like old warehouses. And I guess there's like a shopping center in the old warehouses, but it was just, I don't know. It wasn't what I expected. I just thought it was gonna be somewhere downtown, and like there's gonna be like the city skyline and stuff in the background. They were gonna do that, but I mean, it turned out pretty good. It was just an odd landscape that I chose.
Yeah,
But
it
yeah,
was.
we hadn't really spoken before that too much. I mean, I knew who you were, and but yeah, it was a cool experience.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. That was the only one that I've gotten to do, so
Yeah.
take that for what it is.
Mhm.
Now, you've been in the space for a long time. I'm just looking back at your history. Like, you were top 50 in, like, the Share the Love events. You played the
Yeah.
Gauntlet Cups. You're one of the few, like, OGs within the scene that are still around.
Yeah.
How does that feel, first of all, that, like, you're one of the last guys?
I mean, I don't know. I miss everybody back in the day. It doesn't feel like I'm OG. I still feel because when I started playing, I played Step 1 squad scrims and FNPL squad scrims. And when I started playing, there was all those players like, I don't know, like 72 and Chap who just started dominating back then, and like all the like Tempo and Xiaomok and everybody back then that was like a really big pro. So back then I was like, oh, I want to be like these guys. I want to, I want to compete in tournaments and stuff. But I was just playing scrims. I was just one of the kids that was like, trying to get good. And that's how everyone was back then. And so it kind of still feels like that. Like I don't know, I still look up to people back then that were really good. Like I remember looking up to like Nate Hill and Funk when they played in like the Friday Fortnite kill races and stuff. And I thought that was so cool. And now I've got to play with them and stuff, which is dope. But it's I don't know, it doesn't really feel like I'm one of the OG people, but I guess now a lot of people are coming in. I mean, there's people that started, I think Mason, who I played Grands with last season, said he started in chapter 2 or something. That's wild to me that he started when I was just playing tournaments every day. And
Yeah, you have
so
a good, like, 2.5 years on him just of
yeah, and
playing this game.
he's still just better than me at the game. Like it's wild. They just evolve so fast, and it's, I don't know, it's crazy to me.
How do you feel that the game has changed from like day one of those first few tournaments you were playing
Hmm.
to the game that we're sitting at now? Because it's by no means is even recognizable compared to what we used to have.
Yeah, I guess I've just played so many tournaments where like in my memory, World Cup and like everything, like duo FNCS, squad FNCS, everything felt so high. I don't know. It was like so intense, and like it felt like it was, everybody was super good at the game. But then I go back and watch World Cup, and I'm like, oh dude, like you could throw a kid that's like contenders in arena in here, and he would just dominate everybody. And like, but in my mind, I think it just feels like it's the same skill level that everyone is now. Like I saw a tweet about what was it? It was whoever had the highest amount of like kills in a Grands game, and I remembered Arab had like the most in the first game of squads. So I was like, let me go find that video. So I went back and watched it. Dude, everyone was awful. They were so bad. And so like back then in squads, I was like, oh my god, these guys are crazy. Like it's just such a different game. But I don't know. I mean, that's just how it's gonna be. I feel like games like that, like Fortnite compared to something like CS:GO, like CS:GO. maybe because I don't play the game at a high level or I haven't played it in a while, but I feel like you can't really tell how different the game has changed in the past 20 years compared to like Fortnite. I mean, it's only 5 years old, and like you could show intervals of clips from each of the 5 years, and you can clearly tell what's back then and what's now. But and I think that's just the building aspect, really, is what it comes down.
We've also seen like a massive evolution in the way Fortnite competitive gets treated from a developer side. Like in the
Oh,
beginning,
100%.
it was just we're having tournaments, you're playing the tournaments with whatever is in the game at the moment. And
Yeah,
then
yeah.
now whatever is in the game at the moment is completely different than what is played in tournaments. And like over the shift, pretty much like the end of chapter 2, mid chapter 2, we started to see this divergence, and now
Hmm.
it's not the same game anymore. So now like competitive, even in the past like year and a half, has become much more regular, to the point that you said about CS:GO is, even that seems pretty similar. And now we're
Hmm.
starting to get to that point, I think, within Fortnite, but who knows, they could add something and change everything.
Yeah, it feels like from like Stark season onward, I mean maybe a little bit after that, but like some of the top players, like you watch some people like Noah Riley's first montage from Stark season. I mean, he's better than, I don't know, better than half the kids are mechanically now. And so it's really like getting to a point where I wonder how it's going to change with everybody. Like everyone's going to reach, I mean, for the most part, everyone's going to reach a crazy mechanical standing at some point, and like I wonder what the difference will be, if it's just going to be aim or like I don't know. I don't know what the cap will be, and what we'll see there. Cuz like right now, I mean, I choose teammates based on like I'm like, "Oh, I could like watch someone's video and I'm like, "Oh, this guy's crazy at fighting," or like, but if everybody looks like that, it's going to be hard to figure out who you want to play with and figure out what advantages they have without actually playing with them. So, I don't know. We'll have to see what changes in the future.
Yeah, I think the kids, the mechanics are the baseline mechanics for your average Fortnite player are just incredible.
Yeah.
And then it's like, how much game knowledge can you shove into somebody that's just trying to play 1v1 build fights all day?
Yeah, I mean, and it's crazy. Like, I fight some people in arena or in creative, like random kids that are just so much better than me at fighting, or mechanically better than me at least. But then they just do something stupid. They don't know what's happening, or like they just, I don't know. It's like something that I think is so simple, but like they just don't pay attention to. But they can also edit and build, I don't know, 4 times as good as I can. So they got
Well,
that going for them, I guess.
well, someone like you have to be grounded in your fundamentals and the knowledge part of the game. It's just whether
Yeah.
you think about it or not, you've been playing this game for so long that
Oh yeah.
you have solid fundamentals, and if you didn't, like, you wouldn't be here at
Oh,
this
I wouldn't
moment.
be. No, I would not be any sort of decent.
So I mean, your mechanics like are pretty solid. Like, by no means are you a Noah Riley or
No.
Mason, but you still have quality fighting abilities. And
Yeah.
like what you mentioned, you are a player that understands, okay, these guys are just gonna try and clip me. If I stand here and my shotgun out, they're gonna run into the bullet.
Yeah.
um, which is fun, but also I wish I could clip people. It's kind of
Yeah. Exactly. I'm watching these people. I'm like, dude, what can I just do to? I don't know. That's what I've been trying to get better at. Is just trying to get faster, trying to not be as old. But we'll see. We'll see what happens.
how old are you? 19?
20,
20. Oh,
20, 20 on. I turned 20 in June's
so you're on
early
the
20s.
upper half of.
Yeah. And now I'm playing with Tahi too, and he's turning 20. So if we make grands, we'll be I think the average or the oldest average duo age last grands was 38 or 39. So if we make grands, we'll be the oldest duo for sure. I mean,
Yeah, I put
getting
that out.
getting old out of here.
I think it was 17 and a half was the average age of a player. So it would have been
Mm,
37 would be the average age of a duo. And then
yeah.
someone corrected me. Apparently there was a duo that had two 20-year-olds. So
Oh,
like
it might be
40.
Clarity and Slacks maybe. I know Clarity's 21, which is
Oh,
wild to me. Like he's like one of the OG people. That's I mean, and he's still keeping going at the next thing he's got it going.
yeah. I mean, do you think that like it's coincidence or like reason for everyone being, granted we're getting older. Fortnite is
Mhm.
not the 14, 15-year-old kid game that it used to be anymore. Do you think that it's impossible for someone to play like into their mid to late 20s, or is it more circumstance?
No, I don't. I actually don't think like the whole old thing. I really don't think is like I've been kind of the same player mechanically comparatively to everybody else the whole time I played the game. I've never been like super fast. It's not like I was like super fast and then all of a sudden I turned 19, turned 20 and I'm slow. Like I've just been, I don't know, like slightly above average mechanically compared to a lot of the other pros. And like Clarity is the same way. Like he's 21. I mean, he's been like really good at fighting, really good mechanically the whole time he's been playing. I think it's really just what it comes down to is like if you put the time in, like I don't think I put enough time in trying to get better mechanically. I was focusing on other things. I'm sure he, on the other hand, was trying, playing a lot of creative and stuff like that. And I think if you just discipline and like put the time in, no matter what age you are. I mean, granted, I think once you hit like 28, 29, 30, maybe there's a drop off, but I don't know.
Rip.
I don't know. I don't know because I'm not that old, so I can't say if like my energy levels are gonna drop like crazy or something. But I think it just matters about like how much time you put in and how much desire you have to play the game. Because if you don't enjoy the game or you like get bored of the game, like you get burnt out, I mean, you're just gonna fall off. But that's one of the things I think, like getting burnt out. That is one of the reasons I think that the older or the younger players, like the new people that come in, are at an advantage because they're starting the game later, they're playing, and then they're like really addicted to it. Like I'm just not as addicted to it as I was during World Cup, and because I played it for 4 or 5 years or however long, those people that have played it for a year and a half or something they're probably loving it. They're probably so into it, and they can force themselves to play 10 hours a day without even worrying, without even thinking about it. But
You're
I don't know.
also you're a madman that streams solo arena. Like that
Yeah,
that's
that's
got to
part of
play
it.
a
No,
huge piece of you getting burnt out faster than other
Ye
people.
oh yeah. No, I realized that when so after my detrimental experience in Grands, I was like thinking, and I was like, because I hate to say it, our first day, I went into Grands thinking like 15 to 25th is like where I want to get. Like, I want to like I just because the last two Grands I had like pretty bad Grands, and I was like, all right, I just want to like I put a lot of time into it. I felt like I had like actually gotten confident on what I wanted to do and like knew what I was doing. And then I went into it and we had kids taking half our loot, and so I was like, man, like this is like I just didn't have the motivation that I should have. And I think part of it was me playing literally 6 hours of Solar Arena every day for the last 2 weeks before Grands, streaming it. I think I just like I couldn't care. Like the second day of Grands, after we died first game of Surge, I was like, dude, like I don't care enough. Like and I hate to say it, and Mason was the same way. I mean, it was just like I've played this game so much, like this is not how the Grands I wanted it to go. So I mean, I don't know. We could have not gotten 50th. I wholeheartedly believe we were like 1 point off of not getting 50th. If we just, I mean, we landed on Rokane one game. We like ran at kids one game. I mean, I don't know. It was just bad, but I attest it to definitely 6 hours of Solar Arena for the last 2 weeks before that. So I vow now, like, I've started to actually just like play off stream and try to get better and like use my time wisely. And then I'm gonna, I stream Solar Arena for like an hour and a half today. Like I enjoy streaming and that's how I can do that, but I can't burn myself out on the game anymore. It's just
Yeah,
bad.
I get the solo arena like as a streaming thing because it's
Mm,
nice to be able to communicate with chat and stuff, and
yeah.
it's harder to do that when you're playing with somebody because otherwise you're just having this weird
It's like
conversation.
yeah, exactly. It's like two conversations at once.
Yeah. And so I was gonna ask about Grand. You brought it up yourself. I didn't even have to
Yeah,
ask about that.
I'm not gonna I'm not gonna pretend it didn't happen. I just think the somebody had to get 50th, right? And I'm willing to take that spot because we didn't after the first day we didn't deserve to do any better than bottom 40. I mean, there was no the motivation wasn't there. First game, I was feeling good going into it. Like I knew what we did wrong. We got like 10 points or something. We finished with like 53 points. right? So we got a fifth of our points first game. So I was like, 10 points really isn't even that bad. Like that could be a mediocre game, and then you can have a couple 30-point end games. Like you can still make some out of that. So I was like, whatever. Like we rotated wrong for second surge, and so going in the second game, and then those kids started taking our loot and like hiding behind trees. And because we're landing Butter Barn, the loot route is so like in order. So it's like a balance of getting enough loot and being fast enough to get to the zone for surge, right? So we had to claim so much area in order to be able to have like 6 minis and 3 bigs. And you're getting shot at by everyone with the new surge. Like no matter where someone is, they could be 200 meters behind you. They're gonna shoot at you because even though you can hold them, you need so much surge. So we were like, if we sacrifice some of our loot, we just die because we don't have heals. But if we sacrifice our timing, then we die to surge every single time because we don't get to the zone. So we had the first game, we had our everything because those kids bottom left thought they were gonna be con, but then they ended up not being con. So then they started like coming over to us, hiding behind trees on Mason because he was so split from me, and they kill us like. Or the first game they keyed us and ran at us, or it was the second game I guess. They keyed us and ran at us. We insta wiped them. So I was like, all right, if they keep doing that, like we're way better at fighting them. It's fine. Like it's whatever. We'll make some out of it. But then they started like getting guns and hiding on top of mushrooms and like waiting for Mason at different spots and just being weird. And they like DM'd him saying they needed the loot and they didn't care if it grew with or something. All right, this is already and so we tried to like do something that added like 45 seconds onto our loot route time, and then it's just like you end up rotating into walls of people just trying to get surged on mountains. And I was just like looking at like I remember we rotated in and there was like 8 teams on a mountain, and I was like, dude, it's over, bro. Like if this happened every game, we are so dead. And it was over after that.
Well, and the split drop, like inherently, you guys are split. That's
Oh,
literally a split drop. So
yeah, yeah.
those things will happen. It's just unfortunate that they happen game after game after game.
Yeah, I mean,
You know,
it's
you,
and
you
it,
set up some plays every once in a while. Someone falls early, goes back in the VOD. You see
mhm.
Masons on literally 300 meters away
Oh,
from you.
I
Then
don't blame him for yeah, 100%. If I see Mason, if I was Kanata and Agers, every game. I mean, granted, we knew they weren't going to do it, but if I was Kanata and Agers, I would have grappled on Mason's head every game. There's no reason not to. It was a free kill every single time. I mean, granted, like he's good at fighting, and I think he would have like 1v2'd or killed one of them. But like they have like a not probably like an 85% chance of winning, especially since it's them. But because they were doing good, they won first game, got like second game or something. I knew that they wouldn't do anything. They wouldn't change their playstyle because they were doing good. They would just keep doing the same old thing because why would you change what you're doing if it's perfect? So I was like, all right, you're not gonna get keyed by them. But then the other kids like Chewy Pog or someone was just, I mean, they didn't care. Like they had, I think they got like 41st maybe. I mean, it was bottom 40, bottom 50 central there. No, it was just not happening. But I refuse to land there ever again. This Cash Cup finals that I just played, last time I'm ever landing,
okay,
unless it gets buffed like crazy.
yeah, I was gonna ask because you're saying it's the drop spot, but you just went there.
Well, okay, but okay. The reason that me and Tahi when we qualified, I was like, I don't want to go Butter Barn, but I want to play an uncon spot with you because I want to see how we do in a finals lobby. And so and then there was the leaderboard bug. So I was like, all right, we'll wait for the map to come out. We'll claim Butter Barn for now, and if there's a better spot or like even a decent other split drop that could be comparable to Butter Barn, we'll just go there and we'll have an uncon. And then there's no map until like an hour before the finals. So I'm not gonna switch my spot when someone else probably would just go there too or something. So I was like, we'll play it. We played it first game. We got like third or something, and we played it good. We left first game 1 mini each, 2 splashes. We're
Stacked.
playing from the slums and the first game. Make a miracle game out of it, and then like the second game, the worst part is like the way that the split is so it's super far. You have to loot super far from each other. It takes forever to loot, and all the POIs around it are god POIs with good players at them, like Synapse, Accept and Dubs. Rocky was Peterbot and Costa. Kanata Agers Greasy or Kanata Edgy Greasy. Booga Chonkers. I mean, they just collapse in on you every single time. And so like the third game or something, Accept and Dubs are like trying to take our Surge Mountain every single time. But the third game, they all of those teams that I mentioned, all the god teams, because it was like the console cup was going on, people just started keying like if they were doing bad or they were just like it was like a south zone, so everyone started like coming towards Butter Barn, and we literally got sandwiched by probably the four best teams in that Cash Cup finals at once and fought off like 10 kids with our awful loot, our gray two shots. I mean, we're just I don't know, and that's when Tahi tweeted out. He's like, I can't believe Npen's been landing here for seasons. So I was like, we'll go. Like I'm going an actual POI. Like I'll fight for it. I don't care. I just want to play a grands from a spot that if I play a grands from a spot that's good and I do bad, then I know for sure it is 100%, and that's all I need to know.
Yeah,
I think
right
it's good,
now
like,
it's
like
the drop
70%
spot.
my fault. No, it's not. I fully believe I'm bad at grands, but I think it's like 30% Butter Barn. Like I'd rather get if I can get like a top 20 to 15 from a decent POI, then I'm like, okay, maybe it was. But I don't think I'm good at grands though. That is one thing. I go into grands and I'm not as confident as I should be every single time.
Yeah, that's got to change. If you want to perform better, you can't be telling yourself you're not going to do well before you
But
even start
it's
the
not that I
tournament.
don't think I'm gonna do well. I just go into grands and I feel like I've prepped. Like I feel like I've checked off everything that I should know, and then I go into it and I'm like, this is nothing like what I prepped for. Like it just feels like I don't know, and I don't know what it is. I feel like it stems from the loot route taking so long because our every grands it's been surge, but it's not like my surge aim. It's not like once we get to a spot like me and DeRoller had a lot of south zones when I played with him
Mm-hmm.
the second day, and we got like fourth, but the first day we got like 48th because but like if we get the zones for us where our loot route doesn't matter that much, then we like have good end games and stuff. I don't know. It just feels like and I have good aim for Surge. I don't know. I want to blame Butterbarn, but I also know it's like mostly my fault. So I just need to play a spot that I can loot quickly and determine how much of
I mean, that's good self-recognition though. If you're realizing what the issue is, and most of the time you're running into problems with Surge, and you think it's because you're looting too long. I mean, do you know when you're typically leaving Butterbarn?
like we got our loot route down to like when first zone closes, but in grands, like in a Cash Cup finals, that's fine because half the kids have no idea what's happening. So like you can get Churchills you wouldn't get in normal finals, and like even in weekly finals or heats, like it's the same thing. But when you get down to grands, like you have 2 weeks to prep. Everybody knows how to play Surge in grands, so everyone, it's just whoever gets to the right hill the fastest. And I know what hills I can get to, but it's like those people like Synapse and Grands started to get in front of us on rotates, which like doesn't even make sense. Like there's so much, they're the most south POI in the game. Granted they have rifts, but like they started to be like comparative to our timings, and so it's like we have awful loot, and then on top of that we have awful surge rotates. And so if we can't hold Synapse on half the zones, we're not holding anyone. We're holding there's no one else coming. So we're shooting no one. So then it's like if us and Synapse are going in at once, then whoever like Rockies, I mean, they should have been actually I guess they got conned the first day, but they should just be having a field day shooting at us the whole time. But
Well, and they have grapplers too. So if you're
and
in,
every team around us is grapplers. Greasy, Synapse, Rocky, Chonkers has 400,000 splashes. I mean, you could hit them 150. They box up, pop 6 splashes, and they're 200 HP. Like we're just in the slums there, man. I'm just not going there anymore. I just can't take it.
yeah, I mean, leaving when first
Taxing.
zone moves is too late.
Yeah,
You
it's
recognize that, and
oh yeah.
Rocky's gonna be ahead of you, and you're literally just gonna get farmed for Surge. And if you're in these types of lobbies, if you're the last one in, you're not making it in the zone.
No,
Like
it's
that's
over.
just
It's over.
not how it works.
Yeah.
Um,
So I don't know. I'm gonna try to like get a POI that's in like the middle of the map somewhere. Just out of the I think I need to get out of the sand area. I think it's like it's given me I don't know. I get like PTSD just from walking around in there. Been there so long. I probably played like literally 1,000 games this chapter from that from that area, and I just can't do it anymore.
it's the curse of Booga.
Miro said he took the curse off though, so
Okay, was that
should
post
be good for the
grands?
season. Yeah, that was so when Elite actually tweeted out a picture of me with my face on a McDonald's worker. Amir actually commented and said, "Don't worry, I'll take off the curse." So
You're a
now
good
I'm feeling
sport
good.
for that, by the way.
I mean, dude, we got 50th, bro. Like I can't. They can anyone can take shots at me. I don't care.
Hell yeah.
It's well deserved. I went to zero ping for it too. I was so excited, dude. I was going to zero ping. I was like, we're gonna be able to create at walls. We took 2 walls in 12 games, probably. 2 walls I got to hit in, and it felt great. I mean, I had a blast taking them, but I mean, it was just such a I don't know. It was just a waste.
All right, well,
But it was
let's stop beating up on you and
yeah.
your
Stop
50th
bullying
on
myself
grants.
here.
That's kind of been that's tough. You
Yeah.
relived it long enough.
Yeah.
So you've also been like a solid streamer creator
Mhm.
recently, as of 2 hours ago, partnered up with Alienware. So
Oh
you've
yeah, I got the
been
PC right there.
succeeding outside
Mhm.
of just playing the game. Um, Talk to me about that. Like, how did you get started streaming, and how have you achieved now? I guess two partnerships with Nanoleaf and Alienware.
Mhm.
First of all, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
But secondly, like, tell us all about your content side.
I guess so when I first started playing the game, that's kind of what I wanted to do more than competing was streaming. Okay, I'll go back. So when I was a kid, like, and I played like Call of Duty and CS:GO, I was always like, dude, being a YouTuber would be so. And so I was like, making YouTube videos would be sweet. Like, but then I realized, I don't know, making YouTube videos doesn't really interest me. Like when I started streaming, I realized streaming and like having a direct connection with people live way more enjoyable for me, I guess, than making YouTube videos ever was. So I just kind of focused on that, full focus on that more than making content on any other platforms. But so I started playing Fortnite, and me and my IRL friend that got me into the game both put Twitch in our name, both made Twitch account. Well, I think I had a Twitch account, but we both, like started streaming on the same day. We got like the Streamlabs OBS like Fortnite themed like I don't know what they're like they make them for everybody, you know what I mean? You
Oh,
could
like the
throw on whatever.
presets or
The
whatever they are.
presets, yeah. And
Yeah.
I thought it was sick. It was like recent donation, recent sub, and they were both blank for like the first 2 months. There's no donations, no subs, but I was loving it. And so I was just streaming with Twitch my name. I was playing pubs back then, like solo squads, and that's when I was like getting good. And so I'd stream. I think I streamed scrims. It was like me, Clicks, and two other random people. Cause like Clicks was the first person that I ever started scrimming with back then. And like he got a little successful, I guess, and like and we both we both got really successful, I guess, but him just a little bit more. But he would stream everything, and I would stream everything, and we'd stream all our step one scrims and FNPL scrims, and then I'd play. I mean, it was the same thing of like me playing solo and now I was playing solo squads back then. I like to just be able to like talk to whoever's in my chat, and a bunch of them were just like it was like my 4 or 5 of my IRL friends that knew I was good at Fortnite, because that's when like if you were good at Fortnite in high school in like 10th grade, 11th grade, dude, that like you were the shit.
Yeah, it was cool
I don't know
back
if I can
then.
curse, but it was cool. It
Oh, you're
was
allowed
like,
to. Don't worry.
oh, okay. That would have been bad if I wasn't, but so like it was, everybody knew I was good. And so like they would all watch me when I'd stream. He knows I'm 90, bro. This is wild. Like, so we just stream, and I started to, I mean, I got like 10, 15, 20 viewers maybe up to there for World Cup. And then World Cup came around, and I guess like Share the Love and Gauntlets as well. I always had Twitch in my name, and I probably got to like 40 or 50 viewers at that point, and I kind of cruised at that viewership for a while. But and this is gonna sound so weird, what really blew me up, which is like I don't know how it worked, but so do you remember in chapter 2 when there was like this? It was like chapter 2, season 2, like when the agency stuff was going on. There was a stretch res glitch where you could get OG stretch res. You know what I'm talking about?
I do. Yes.
And you like would go to some. You just there was some like weird obscure method to do it, but I started doing that, and people were like, oh my, like everyone wanted how to do it, so that my viewership shot up to like 200. Or like it was like probably like 500 for like a couple days, and I was like, dude, this is my big break. But all of them, my whole chat was exclamation point res, exclamation point how to get stress res. It was like no one cared who I was. They just wanted to see how to get stress res because it
Hey,
was
you
sick.
might have been able to keep a few of those.
But that's the thing. That's what so that glitch got removed. They patched it or whatever a week later. Viewership tanked down to like I mean I probably had like 10 more, 60, 70 or something. And I was like close to partnership. So I was like, oh this and that's when I started playing Solar Arena. Cuz I didn't really play Solar Arena, but when that stretch res glitch came out, I started to play Solar Arena cuz it was fun. Like I wanted to play the game with that on. And then so I was like, I'll just play Solar Arena on stream without it, see what happens. And so I started doing morning Solar Arena streams because I was getting out of school early. It was like my senior year, and I had like double early. So I was getting out like 10:30. So I pretty much had the full day. So I get home and stream, and I just like I don't know, streamed 4 or 5 hours a day after that, and did it every day, and just started to blow up my Twitch that way, and I've kind of just stayed consistent really like that since then. And I know I need to like I realized I could definitely like grow way more with doing TikTok and Instagram and stuff like that. Like that's definitely and YouTube as well, I guess. So that's my next goal is to just try to actually force myself to uh, move over into those platforms and try to grow my Twitch that way. But
I mean, you could definitely do that, or even just pay someone to do it for you if you don't want to do it yourself.
the last time that I did that, I paid a guy to do my Instagram, and I don't remember what his name was. I don't know if you remember seeing this, but it turned out he was like a blatant racist, and
Oh,
yeah, and then he deactivated his accounts. So I had a bad I had a bad run in with that guy,
yeah,
but
that makes sense.
he got me a couple more followers on my Instagram and TikTok. So but yeah, I moved on after that. I haven't gotten a manager since, but I kind of want to I don't know, I kind of want to do it myself because I think I know what it takes to like actually like what clips would blow up and what would be funny and how to market myself well on those platforms. So I might try it myself and try to edit stuff myself and see how it goes. I think I could actually come well. And I have some ideas for YouTube as well that I think I want to start doing to do other than just montages. 'Cause that's literally all I upload right now is like one a week.
Well, at the very least, you'll learn stuff. Like that's what I
Mhm.
really appreciate about like the whole content creation process is with YouTube is really the only platform I put stuff out on. Like you're always
Yeah.
learning stuff and it's like this just constantly changing hurricane of information, whether it
Mhm.
be learning how to edit, learning how to like properly record stuff, and then like the whole YouTube and platform side is just more knowledge that I mean, someone like me, I'm 10 years removed from school. No, not really,
Yeah.
but like 7. Um, so I don't really learn things unless I go out and challenge myself. And that's why I've appreciated all the different platforms. I'm not a huge fan of TikTok, but you know, sometimes randomly post crap on there.
Yeah.
Um, but it's a good learning experience, and I think for you as someone that's still trying to figure out like what the hell they want to do the rest of your life, that experience will translate and you can find good ways to be able to monetize that, whether that be through your own socials or like whatever you want to do next, because
Yeah.
those skills are super valuable, as I'm sure you've tried to find someone that could do that stuff for you, and it's all children that don't do a great job.
Well, yeah, because like that whole side of I mean, the people that end up doing that, the majority of them, and I don't want to like, this might be mean, but like it's a lot of people that were originally people that tried to play competitive Fortnite. It's the same thing with like a lot of the editors too. They try to play competitive Fortnite and then they stem off into like social media managing, player management, even though they don't know what's going on. They just like it's like 14-year-old kids trying to manage a bunch of pro players and get them brand deals and stuff and then like drop map makers and video editors. I mean, it's just like a huge stem off of like I don't know, people that just like try to find a niche that they can capitalize on. And I mean, that's just one of them. But I feel like I just like being in control of what my stuff is or, like what content I'm putting out. So it's I don't know. That's why I'd like to start with talking Instagram and see what I can do there. Um, as well as like editing stuff because I used to edit my own YouTube videos even though I had no idea what I was doing. I was just clipping stuff together, putting a cool little whatever it's called transition and then
Transitions.
yeah and then matching it up with the music and I was yeah, it's dope.
I mean, you'll be able to get there. Like, one of the things is you have to realize it's gonna be shit at first. Like,
Oh
no
yeah.
one is good at something at first, but you
Oh
keep
yeah.
doing it over time, you get better. And for like you doing your own content, no one knows you better than yourself. So, however
Hmm.
you want to portray yourself, like no one else is going to watch all of your streams and all of your YouTube
Oh,
videos.
exactly.
So, I mean, you'll have fans that do some of it, and like if they actually care, like that might be the best person to help you
Yeah.
out with that kind of stuff. But I recommend trying it, giving it a shot. What else are you gonna do for the next however many months until we actually get like another FNCS?
Exactly.
So
Exactly. Yeah.
you got time.
Yeah. That was like what you said, the having someone that cares and like being able to watch all your stuff, like that's my YouTube manager and like editor is just he's a guy that originally just watched my streams and like edited on the side just like for fun and was learning it, and now he's gotten really good and edits for Queasy and Oak, a bunch of people. But like when he started editing for me and all the way through, like he was really good at it and made my videos really good because he knew what I liked and knew, we had like the same sense of humor with stuff. Like the thumbnail, like we started in my thumbnails, like just starting instead of like it'd be like limited blah 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 and like 200 or whatever. But then I was like, what if we just added like a ton of zeros to it, like two like 200 million, and that would really get people to click on it. So we started doing that, and now everybody and their mom does that just because it's funny. But I don't know. That's just like that's why I want to do my own stuff because I feel like when I'm streaming, I have like a funny clip that happens, and I'm like, oh, I should save this and for TikTok or whatever. But if I hire someone to content manage me, they probably won't find this clip. Like they're not watching. Like they're gonna find stuff. They're gonna go to my most recent clips and maybe it's there, but maybe someone doesn't clip it. But if I remember to do it, I can make something funny out of it and that blow up.
I believe
So
in
we'll
you.
see.
You could
I
do it.
appreciate that. I
Maybe
appreciate that.
not. I don't know. 50 or
Yeah,
10
we'll see.
grand. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
No, that's cool. I mean, good luck. And what are you like? I know you've moved back and forth between Virginia and you
Hmm.
live outside of there. I won't say where, but like back and forth between zero ping and I mean, not that you're on high ping, but do you decide one place is better than the other? Because all basically pros put on Twitter is Virginia is the worst spot in the world and it's where the devil is like just eating your
It's the
soul.
spawn of Satan. Yeah. So the first time that okay, actually no, I do agree. Virginia's cursed. The last time I went there was Grands, and then I hadn't been there in a year. The last time I went there before that, I played with Ospen Polarized or trios, and that was the last season. And we had a $0 season or like a $200 season. We had an awful season. We didn't make Grands. We were second place in a finals week. Gonna auto qual as top three. Um, and Polarized gets run over by a car just out of the no. It comes barreling down a hill, slams through his box, instantly kills him. And so that was our. We were like, oh my god, we're gonna turn this season around, just right out the window. But when I was living there, I think that last season, the reason that I think a lot of people hate Virginia, and the reason that I hated Virginia the last time I was there is because like you're literally confined to playing the game 12 hours a day, and if that's your only, I mean, that's if that's your only thing that you're doing is fully focused on performing in the game, and you have no other aspirations, you have no other part of your life that you're like trying to work towards, then obviously if you're doing bad in that, you're going to be depressed. That's like the only, that if something goes wrong and the only thing you're working towards, it's just not, you're not going to be happy. And so that's what I was doing. I was in Virginia living with Zuni's and Cease's girlfriend, and I didn't bring a car to Virginia because my car, the engine will probably explode if I drive like it's more than an hour away. So I was there, but Zuni's had a car, and me and Zuni's would hang out a lot. But the thing was, I was waking up at 6 a.m., going to sleep at 9 p.m., 10 p.m., whatever. I had a God schedule, and I was streaming in the mornings. Zuni's was waking up at 6 p.m., going to bed at 6 a.m. And so he's the only one with a car. So there's like a 4-hour window where we can go out and do something. And if there's a tournament, then that window's gone. So then we're just staying inside all day. And it was either like I wake up at like 12 in the morning and and he's like, "You want to go get food?" And oh, it's McDonald's, KFC, Taco Bell. I mean, and it's atrocious food choices. Like, so it's the same. I'm living on a cycle, the same thing every single day, playing the game, getting no results. I was like, this is pointless. Like, I'd rather just be with my family. I'm zero ping doesn't matter. Like, I would literally load up for Churro Cash Cups. I would load into the Churro Cash Cups, and I never told Awesome Polar this because they'd probably be mad at me. But I'd load in, and the first game I'd be like, dude, I wish this Churro Cash was over. I've never had that experience before. I've never been
Jeez.
like, that's when I thought I was gonna quit because I was like, I've never been like, I've loaded up for a tournament and every time I want to play it, but this one I was like, I this whole season I was like, I'm not really interested. Like, and I was grinding too. It was just like, I don't know. You gotta have like a balance of stuff, and if you're full grinding the game, you're just gonna burn yourself out. And when there's no way, like when you're forced to grind the game and you're burnt out and you have nothing else to do, I mean, it just leads to you being so depressed and so I don't know,
Well, and it sounds
nothing to
like
look.
you didn't really have much human contact besides
Oh
when you and Zuni's accidentally like were
no.
awake at the same time. So
I would hang out with Zuni's and we'd talk throughout the day if he was awake, and then I'd like like once a week I'd go hang out with other people in Virginia. But it was just like it was just an awful way to live, an unhealthy way to live, and the zero paying didn't didn't make that any better. I mean, I was paying rent to hate my life, so I was like, I'm just gonna go back home. I'll play 35 ping, and then right after that, um, I mean, I still played bad when I got back home because I had to like rebalance myself and actually like start to like the gaming because I feel like that took like a 3 month toll on me. Like I played the game so much that I hated it that I still hated it for once I got back, and so I took like a little bit of a break and then got back into it. And I mean, this chapter really turned it around and like made me actually enjoy the game again or enjoy like competing again.
nice, nice. I mean, it makes sense, and the pros that seem to have stayed and enjoy living in Virginia have built like a little community for themselves.
Yeah, yeah,
So it took some time, but now people figured out ways to live. And it's so funny. Like Virginia, for me, as someone, like it seems like a nice spot. I like the general area,
yeah.
and
It's
but
a North Virginia is a really nice area, like
yeah,
in terms of like economically and like I don't know, there's a downtown area that's really nice. I don't know, the whole area is like pretty rich, I guess,
yeah, it's a
and
wealthy area.
yeah, it's a wealth. I mean, it's right outside of DC, so like everyone that lives there works in DC, um and but like it's just there's I don't know, just having family and friends around is a way better experience to me. The only way that I could live there, I don't think I could live there again, but I could go there. I wish I had gone there for longer before Grands. Like I was there for like 2 weeks before Grands, because it's like when you get there, it's like for me at least, it was like an adapting period of like getting used to my setup and like being in a different spot. Cause like, I don't know, it just feels a little bit different, but I went there the day before Grands. And so like it threw me off a little bit, but I think like the sweet spot is going there for big tournaments for like a short period. I just don't think living there is for me. And from what I've seen of a lot of other people, I know some people enjoy it now, but I've still seen people that have forced themselves to live there and still hate it. I don't know.
I mean, that's just life now. Well, post COVID, a lot of people have
Yeah.
realized there's better places to live than where they were living because everyone was able
Mm,
to like go live wherever they wanted because no one was going into an office or a job regularly. So it only
yeah.
makes sense that some people will like living in certain places, some people won't. There's one thing that resonated that you said of like you're going to this place to perform and you're not performing, so then everything is just shit, right?
Yeah. I mean,
And
it's
I had a boss one time working in sales. He's like, I don't want you to take work home with you. I don't want you to become your job. And like we thought it was very like him being a nice, generous person. He's like,
hmm
no, if you come here and all you are is your work, you're gonna do a shitty job and you're gonna not gonna be a good employee for
yeah.
me. And I was like, okay. Like I thought there was some like high overarching like him being a nice person. He's like, nah, I just
He's
need
like,
you to do a better job. But like
yeah,
that resonated when you said that. I moved to this place. This was all I was doing. It was me at the time, and I'm not doing a good job. So therefore, you're not going to be good at what work you're doing because it's eating at you.
100%. And that's one of the things I just realized about like life in general, I guess, is like me putting my all into Fortnite, if that's the one thing that I'm putting my all into and it doesn't go well, then my entire life is like just not I'm just not happy. But if I have like I started working out and eating right and trying to like gain weight, and if I have that and then I have Fortnite and I have hanging out with friends and I've like different, I have a balanced life, I guess. Then if one thing's going wrong, I'm not like I hate everything, you know what I mean? And then I'm like, okay, I can work on this and I still have these other two things going for me. But I think a lot of people and people that play the game, a lot of them still haven't realized that and put their all into it. Like I see people that tweet out after I understand like, having a bad event, like, I wasn't happy after I got 15 in the grands, but then it's instead of me being depressed over it for 2 weeks straight, it takes me a day and I'm like, okay, I just got to work on it and like figure out what went wrong. But then I see people that tweet out and they have a bad performance, they tweet out one day and they tweet out the next day and then they just keep like, I don't know, looming
Letting
over the
one
fact that they did
thing.
awful. Yeah, like it's all your eggs in one basket type.
Yeah. Be more than just Fortnite. But I mean,
Yeah.
you seem to have, for someone that like could easily be down on themselves, like you seem to have very good spirits and like a mature understanding of, all right, that shit's in the past. Like it
Yeah.
doesn't help to continue to focus on that.
I think I should be hard on myself for, I'm not saying like, oh, I like it's no big deal. Like I got 50th, who cares? Like on to the next one. Like I obviously did bad and I made mistakes and I should fix them. But like, why would I ruin the rest of my life for the next 2 weeks by just only caring about that one thing when I could just not, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's just a different way to think about stuff.
Yeah, fair enough. Good mentality about things. Now, for you, what do you plan to do next? I mean, you said you still enjoy playing Fortnite. Might cut down on the solo arena streams.
Hmm.
Maybe gonna do content. Like, is there a game plan for you? Because right now, it looks like we're about to be in I want to say a gap, although there's probably going to be two cash cups a week with finals
Yeah.
twice a week and then however many trio cash cup tournaments. So downtime in quotes. Like, do you have
Hmm.
a plan? Is it just going to be keep playing the game? Is there something you plan on working on?
I mean, this gives me a little bit more time to like focus on school, I guess, since the semester's starting back up, and so that'll be nice. I don't know. I don't necessarily. I think I'm just gonna try to get as good as I can for the next FNCS because I feel like a lot of people are gonna take the downtime and do nothing and not play at all and be like, oh, I'll just wait until next time. I have nothing to grind for. If I play and I can, put enough time in where I overtake people that were better than me at this point, then going into the next FNCS, I can, hopefully go for top 49 next. So I'm aiming for one of those, I guess. But I don't know. We'll have to see. I feel like there's I don't know. I don't know if there's gonna be a huge break. There's got to be something.
That's
There's gotta be something. It's and I know I what I think it's gonna be. I have a weird feeling there's gonna be like a no build FNCS like 2 week little thing, and there's gonna be like maybe half the price pool of this, but I think it's gonna be no build. I mean, looking at all the console cup, there was like 2,000 people playing in NA East for the build one, 24,000 playing the no. Literally a wild difference between players. I don't see how they wouldn't just throw a bunch of money into no build and see how it works for viewership since it's been down for this next season when it starts. And like, you don't really have to wait for there doesn't have to be a competitive downtime for no build. You can start it 5 days after the season starts because there's no like broken items. Everything's in there. Like no one cares. It's fun items. Like, and they might just do it. Just I don't know.
Well, the whole
That's
point
just
of
my
that is it's just wild. It's like the
yeah,
zero build
exactly.
mode is just absolute. It's like Fortnite when it first came out, when no one knew how to build, and there was just all this crazy items in the
Yeah.
game, and you had to learn how to use those instead of just crank your way through the
Hmm.
games. So, maybe. I mean, we already know that there's Twitch rivals. That's definitely gonna happen. There's
Yeah.
DreamHack Atlanta, but I think that's the week after the Invitational, so that's
Hmm.
like not in this gap. My guess is there's going to be a lot of like third party stuff because the
Yeah.
collegiate cups are coming up as well. Which
Mm.
are you competing in those? I know you said you're going back to
I gotta
school.
sign up. I keep forgetting to sign up.
Oh, jeez,
It's
you
like
might be too late.
we'll see. I don't know. I know that a couple of people that I was gonna play with signed up last night, so we'll have to see. Maybe they closed. I mean, it's not that big of a deal to me because like I used to play the collegiate cups, and they would like sometimes run over other cash cups and stuff, and so I just, like stopped playing them. And also like I played play versus. I made like 3 grand off it. Never got paid. So I mean,
Oh,
I just yeah, that whole thing shut down. But I know this whole new collegiate thing is legit, and so we'll see. If I
yeah,
can still sign up, I'll sign up. But I'm
that's
not.
that's kind of crazy. Play versus never paid you.
I look. Some people said that they didn't get the emails either, and then they like hit up one of the support guys, and then they sent out the emails. I didn't get the emails, and I tried to DM the guy on Discord, and he wasn't like accepting DMs from people that he wasn't friends with or whatever. And then the play versus like Discord, like that whole thing, it got shut down because there was something like sketchy going on inside of it. Like there was like someone was like stealing. I don't want to say anything that I don't know is 100% true, but I'm pretty sure I heard someone was like stealing money or something weird going on. But so that's why they moved over. That's why Epic stopped doing them and moved over to whatever it is, CCA or whatever now.
Yeah,
But
eFuse essentially is the
yeah,
like
eFuse.
larger company. Yeah, Playverse is screwed up. They were allowing a lot of people that weren't in high school or college
Maybe that's what it
play in
was.
those.
Maybe it wasn't stealing. I don't want to say anything was wrong, but it was like they didn't care about. I mean, Ant the Piffman played in the high school, and he's so unbelievably obvious that he's not in high school. I thought that was the funniest thing ever. But they didn't care. Like no one, you didn't have to. I don't think you had to show proof that you were in college.
It
I
was
don't
just an
remember.
email
It was
because
an
I
email.
had
Yeah, it
friends
was.
that were definitely not in high school or college playing in those cups. As long as
Yeah,
you had like a .edu email and it belonged
yeah,
to some university on their approved list, you were able to play.
yeah. It's wild. So
So
I don't know.
yeah, all right. You may or may not be playing in collegiate cups. Nice.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Okay. And that, you said one other thing you were planning. Oh, the zero builds. Is that
Mhm.
something that you've put effort into? Like, are you becoming a zero build demon?
I I haven't put any effort into trying to get better. I just am like weirdly good at them because I think it's like the way I like think about the game and the way I this sounds weird, but like I used to play a lot of PUBG, and that was right before Fortnite. I played PUBG when it came out, and before like there was any tournaments in PUBG, there was everyone would just leaderboard grind, and so I leaderboard grinded, and I was like, and you'd play like all different regions because ping didn't really matter. I was like first on Brazil at some point. I was like fourth on NAEs. I was just like grinding for like whatever. It was like a PUBG tracker website, and there was the leaderboards like 4.5. So I was just grinding that, and I was really good at PUBG. And then I quit for like Overwatch before any tournaments came out, so I never got to like compete in PUBG or anything. But I moved on, and now with Zero Build, it feels like similar to that whole thing of like having to think about where you can get seen and what hill you need and what spot in zone's the best and like where you should come into zone and like when you need to make a play for a power position, stuff like that. That's just like I still have from back in the day playing PUBG. And I feel like a lot of people that came into Fortnite just started playing Fortnite, or they played like Minecraft, or like it's a lot of kids that didn't play like other games that I don't know just require more thought, and so I just feel like I'm naturally good at no build, and if it comes around, if there's like a no build FNCS, I'll actually like put effort into VOD viewing and stuff, because I know Queasy and Thomas and Pink and Anas and all them, when Zero Build got announced at DreamHack Sweden, I heard they were putting time into VOD viewing and stuff because it was the same prize pool as normal build, and now there's all these no build cups that they're dominating. I mean, they obviously have done something, apart from the fact of like Thomas just being naturally good at aiming and all that, but they've definitely done something where they know more than a lot of other people know, and so there actually is a lot of money put into no build. Then I'll get on the grind. But for now, I'm just kind of like I'll play no build tournaments, make money every now and then, you know.
Yeah, those three are crazy. They win like East
Yeah.
West and
Yeah, they're
EU on
wild.
like regular basis. Just
Yeah.
free money for those guys. It's incredible. But I think getting back to like you saying you're good at like the zero build, it makes sense. Like if you understand the concept of a battle royale,
Hmm.
Fortnite is such like a different battle royale, but you go play Apex, you go play PUBG, Warzone, they're all going to be the same. Like you have to
Yeah.
understand how to close space, where to position yourself, how to make your movements, and that's why Tfue is able to come back and just
Oh yeah.
dominate zero builds is because one, he was really good at this game, then he went and played other battle royales, so he has that same game knowledge and then just comes in, dominates all those. First of all, that's crazy. Like, please come back to the competitive mode. I would love to see Tfue back, but
Yeah, that yeah. I think I mean and that would like I don't know if there's ever going to be a way to bring those people back to like the normal competitive mode, but that's why I think that they're going to start doing no build F. I don't know if it's going to be the same time as build FNCSs because that would be an odd way to do it. I guess they couldn't do it like that if they're going to stream both of them. They'd have to be at separate times. But there's no way they let that viewership go to waste when they know that it's a higher viewer base than the competitive mode. Like in terms of other streamers streaming.
yeah, I
But
think the only problem with that is if you don't do them at the same time, then all of the competitive players will then just turn the
just
zero
dominate.
build mode into the sweat fest that everyone
Yeah.
doesn't like about the regular competitive mode. And then you
Yeah.
run back full circle through this whole process of like, Fortnite's too sweaty, everyone's tryhards, and
Yeah, and that's what's bound to happen. But there'd be like a grace period where people don't think that that's the case, and but like the people that think that no build like Tfue would just win every single one, or like it's clearly not going to be the case. Like every competitive player, if there's enough money into it, every competitive player that's placing right now would switch over or play that in addition and dominate just as hard. The leaderboards would literally I bet you could compare Grands leaderboards if that happened like a duos Grands and it would be maybe there'd be like three more kind of random teams, but it'd be like the same people that are placing now, the same people that are top of the leaderboards right now. It wouldn't change. It's just people that put time into the game and learn the skill gaps and like and decide, figure out what they need to do to win.
yeah, it only makes sense. I mean, we've seen that in just these quick trio cash cups and
Yeah,
different things
exactly.
like that. Like the same people are winning those. It's not anything
Hmm.
crazy to say. And even with DreamHack and the Saudi event, like teams were pretty consistent, or players, I guess, for DreamHack
Yeah.
across the like solo zero build and then the regular build mode. It's, some variance between the two, but generally players that are good at Fortnite will continue to be good at Fortnite if they have
Yeah,
builds or
exactly.
don't have builds. Um, but I wanna wrap this up, and first of all say thank you for joining me. Appreciate
Of
it.
course, of
We've
course. I
gotten
appreciate you
some.
having me.
You're welcome. Gotten some great insights and couple of wrap up questions. If you've watched one of these before, you'll know. If not, it's a big surprise. What is your favorite Fortnite skin?
Ooh, you gotta give me some time here. I gotta think. Oh, actually, it's the what's that girl called? The Tigress one that all the EU people wear.
Okay.
That was my skin when it first came out because no one bought it. I wore it in Duo FNCS, and there was like a season period where I only wore that skin, and people knew it as my skin. And now it's gone,
Now it's
but
the
I
EU
like it.
skin.
Yeah, now it's the
Okay, and lastly, where can people find you? What are you going to be up to? Shout yourself out.
You can find me on Twitter at npen01. Same at for Instagram and TikTok. Twitch at Npen and YouTube at Npen as well. And I'll be streaming hopefully daily, apart from tournament days for the most part, or like duo cash cup days. But yeah, yeah.
Cool. Are you ever going to stream tournaments, or is that just not going to happen?
Well, so I wanted to after that 15 in the grands, and I was down to. I'm still down to, but now that I'm playing with Tahi, I don't think he wants to stream tournaments. I'm not gonna force the person I'm playing with to stream tournaments. I'm not gonna be like, I'm streaming tournaments no matter what. Like play me if you want to. But if he wanted to and he brought it up, then I'd be like, yeah, I'm down. I just don't. I don't know. I still value doing well and having a good teammate, and like having the best teammate that I think I could find over streaming. But I think, I mean, I'll stream all the trio cash cups, all the solo cash cups. it's like the ones that matter to my teammates the most, then I'm not.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, good luck tonight. Playing the solo
Oh,
Kashi.
have you seen the bug that's going on?
Which one?
The the one where you randomly freeze like packet loss and
Oh yeah.
yeah, I mean if that's in the game, dude, am I even loading up, bro? That's a smat. That's my Alienware monitor. Fist right through it. I mean,
It's a great first day of sponsorship. Boom.
I'm kidding. Please don't sue me. Please.
No,
Yeah,
it looks like they just restarted the EU one for later, so probably gonna be fixed by the time NA goes. EU test region, all that good stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
But thank you, man. I really appreciate you joining me. Good conversation. We'll have you back sometime. And
I appreciate that, man.
Thank you all for watching, listening, wherever you may be hearing these words. If you have any complaints, you have any nice things to say, you can DM me on Twitter @somebody'sgun. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you next time. Peace.
Peace.